In SurveyCTO, you can publish form data to a server dataset. This can be helpful for aggregating your data into a central location, as well as making data from one form available for another form. Let's set this up. On the Design tab of your server console, go to the server dataset you would like to set up publishing for and click Publish Into. Click Add a Form. At the drop-down menu, select the form you would like to publish into this server dataset. I'll select Household Form. When publishing, you can either publish in wide format, where each submission updates a single row of the server dataset, or long format, where each submission can update multiple rows of the server dataset using repeat groups in the form. I'll leave Publish to Wide Format selected. To the right of Field Mapping, click Add. A new row will appear where you can add a field mapping where you can specify which form field publishes to which server dataset column. In the left drop-down menu, select the form field you would like to publish into the server dataset. I'll select the form field HHID. In the right drop-down menu, select the server dataset column you would like that field to publish into. I'll select the server dataset column HHID_key, which is a server dataset column I added earlier. With this, the form field HHID will publish into the server dataset column HHID_key. Let's add another field mapping. I'll click Add, then in the new drop-down menus that appear, I'll set the field HH_size to publish to the column of the same name. That column does not exist yet, but it will be created when I complete the dataset publishing. I'll click Add again and set the field HH_head to publish to the column of the same name. You can add as many or as few field mappings as you'd like. You can also use the Add All button to add all form fields to the field mapping, then delete the field mappings you don't need. There are 3 ways to publish data to a server dataset column. You can either completely replace the existing value with the new incoming value. If the data is numeric, add the value from the form to the value in the server dataset and publish the sum to the server dataset, or concatenate the incoming value to the value in the server dataset using the separator of your choice so it creates a list of all published values. There are 3 optional settings when setting up dataset publishing. The most common is the form field to identify unique records. Normally, dataset publishing will add a new row for every new submission. If you set a form field to identify unique records, the publishing will use that field to see if that value already exists in the server dataset. If it does already exist, it will update that existing row instead of adding a new row. I'll set this to HHID. That way, if the value of the form field HHID already exists in the HHID_key column of the server dataset, that submission will update that row instead of adding a new row. You can also set the publishing to include form submissions whenever a specific field has a value of 1, so only certain submissions will be published to the server dataset, and publish existing data, so data that has already been submitted to the server is immediately published to the server dataset. Click Save. If you set a form field to identify unique records, it will ask if you would like to set the dataset column that form field publishes into as your unique ID field, which is required for offline dataset publishing. This cannot be changed later, so if you click Yes, make sure that is the dataset column you want to use as the unique ID column. However, most workflows are fine if you just click No. You can always set it later, though once you set it, it cannot be changed. Since this will definitely be the unique identifier field, I'll click Yes. This pop-up simply means new columns were added to the server dataset by the field mapping. Click OK. And we're all set! Dataset publishing has been set up. Now, whenever the enumerator submits an instance of the household form, its data will be published to this server dataset. You can click Publish Into to hide that module.